Okay, so it's April 23rd. There's a decent sized black bear in this spot that I'm in. He's virtually impossible. The only reason I know he's here is there is a right up over there where I've looked down into this and just caught glimpses of him. He's living in this really nasty, super loud, stick breaky kind of stuff. And so anyways, I'm just gonna poke in here and see if I can figure out where he's hanging around, where his travel routes are. There's a cut block here, there's a pond over this way with some of that skunk cabbage. I'm trying to think of the name of it. And anyways, I'm pretty sure they feed on that stuff right early in the spring. It is still early, but you know, give it a shot, see what I find. Sitting here, pull my bow out and realize that I'm missing an arrow after bushwhacking for about an hour. So I guess I'll head back, try to find that arrow. I mean, each one of these arrows is bare shaft tuned, nock tuned, broadhead tuned. I mean, there's a lot of time in. It's not just how much money's in the broadheads and the arrows themselves, but man, there's a lot of time invested in each arrow. And of course, it's my #1 arrow too, right? So when I pluck an arrow, it's the very first one in the row. It's the one that I have marked. So I want to get that sucker back. Here we go. So thankfully I had video footage of me walking away, and could tell that where I had lost that arrow, at least between the truck and there. But still, I searched for about 3 hours, never found that arrow. I went back a couple of times, no luck. All right, so we're in that Copper Canyon area, and it always reminds me of that Copperhead Road song. It'd be fun to be out here making some moonshine. Anyways, bear hunt, bear hunt. Okay, so we're gonna head up the road here where people haven't been going. This is more spring snow. This stuff is no fun. I'll have to be careful not to get stuck. Well, the only good thing about that snow is it's an equalizer, unless somebody has lockers front and rear, super low range, big tires, lightweight vehicle. They're not coming in here, and nobody has so far, which is really cool. I got this to myself for this season, although it's probably too early. So I found a nice quiet little spot to kind of crawl in beside this cut block, and I could set up and glass from there. I usually like to just sit and glass for hours and hours at a time for bear, because they can be lying there and just raiding behind something and you don't see them. So it's great if you just stay in one spot, and it's a spot that I know carries a lot of bear. So at this time of the year, I tend to find the bear down low. They're not going to be up high, I don't think. Myself personally, I find that they're start out down low, and should find some scat. That's what I'm really, if I'm not seeing bears, then I'm driving around trying to find some scat at least. As in case it rains, it's just starting to sprinkle. That's my high-end version of protecting my camera. So I'm just moving around a little bit. It's kind of windy, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this too well. I'm looking for some scat, but I don't see any. So I'm thinking maybe a little too early. These guys tend to hang out up in the hills here and then come down into these lower flats at night, I find. I've camped here and then found fresh scat in the morning where they've come down that wasn't there the day before. So anyways, I'll just spin the camera around, let you have a look. So you can see the claw marks here. There he's gone up the tree. Probably a young one hiding. It's day 3. Nothing. Not finding any sign. Didn't find any scat on the roads or anything yesterday. There must be very few bear out at this point. But I haven't even seen deer or elk or... It's been really quiet. Weather's been, you know, perfect. It's kind of sunny, then cloudy and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, just not seeing anything. And I'm getting tired. I've been hiking and hiking. It's like the less you see, the further you go, right? So, yeah, I'm taking a break.
Well, since, you know, we just met each other 40 years ago.
Yeah. What was our last trip?
I think our last trip was up to Was. Right at that perfect time. We had that fresh snowfall.
Yeah.
Clean plow to see where all the sign was and all the animals were moving. Yeah, that was a good trip.
That was.
Here, the tires down for you. Some good old West Coast pinstriping.
Yeah.
Definitely a nice area. Caught steelhead down here. See bear down here quite often, times of the day.
Wow, man, it still stays crystal clear. That's awesome. So, what power would that be, you think?
I don't know.
Yes, normally when you do that, like, you know, as you know, like the binoculars or spotting scope, it starts getting grainy, but that's still just like sparkling.
Yeah. All right, we got our first bear sighted. That's a fat head, big ears.
Yeah.
He's turning.
He's as curious about us as we are about him.
Yeah. Should I put an arrow in him?
A beautiful animal.
Yeah.
It's so early in the day and we got so many places to go. I'd say we'd let him keep munching on the grass, but we can try to idle up and see if we get a better look at him.
Hard to tell male and female. Like, I'm still struggling with that.
Yeah, and with his ears back flat like that, I'm almost thinking that's a boar, but it's so hard to say.
Yeah.
Acting like a boar. Thick legs on him.
Yeah. All right, so that was our first bear. Not quite what we're after, but man, that's exciting.
It's an interesting time of the day too. They seem to come out and munch on the grass. Always seem to find them later in the afternoon, but you're definitely going to find more being out.
Yeah, well, first day of sun too, right? So they're pent up, ready to get out. Okay, got some fresh bear scat. And that looks like just grasses, which is the normal thing for them to Eat when they first come out. Perfect. This is the only cross stitch we're not going to bother trying to get up. Just the area isn't worth it. We can find somewhere else. It's a good little rig though. Okay, we're finding a little bit of bear sign. We're down pretty low now, and we've probably seen at least 10 piles on the road, which are pretty fresh. And we just saw that one bear in the cut block, young one. So yeah, we'll head into this area and see what else we see. But this is a good sign. All right, so we are going to start heading back. We still got some light, I would say probably even close to an hour of light, but maybe only a half hour. And see if we can see something on the way out. We haven't seen anything shootable yet so far, but fingers crossed. If not, thanks for watching. I guess it's a closeout for our bear hunting. Obviously it's dark out now.
Yeah.
We didn't get a bear, but man, we had a good time.
Never a bad day out in the bush when you're with a bud.
So yeah, so now we're back at Jamie's place, Jamie and Emily's, and having a beer, fire. Awesome stuff, man.
It's an excellent way to wrap up the day. No
It
bad
is.
days on the West Coast.
Exactly.